Hi home cooks! Today I'm in the kitchen making homemade oven baked beans.
Whether you're serving them for breakfast or a backyard barbecue, baked beans are bound to appear at family potlucks or when you're camping with friends. This recipe is super easy to make with only a handful of ingredients, and they're packed with sweet and savory nostalgic flavor.
These baked beans are made from scratch with simple pantry ingredients. Serve this as a side dish to your favorite barbecued meats, or use it as the perfect hearty breakfast with eggs and toast. This easy baked bean recipe is a timeless favorite that's worth the wait, and it's one of my favorite comfort food side dishes.
So let's get into the kitchen. This is how I make oven baked beans.
I'm going to start this recipe by preparing the dried beans. I have 1 pound or 500 grams of dried white navy beans. I'm going to rinse them thoroughly and then add them to a large pot with about 8 cups of water. Then to soften the beans, I'm going to bring it to a boil and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. Then cover, turn off the heat, and let it sit for 1 hour. Now that my beans have started to soften, I'm going to return the pot to a boil, making sure that I still have enough water. Then once again reduce it to a simmer and let the beans cook in the water for 1 more hour, or until they're tender. Hold back 1 cup of the cooking liquid, and then you can drain off the rest of the water. Now I'm going to dice half an onion and add that to my baking dish. I'm also going to add in my softened navy beans. And to make that syrupy thick sauce, I'm going to add in 1 cup of molasses. Add in a tablespoon of dried mustard powder, along with a half teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Now this next step is optional, but it does add a lot of flavor to the beans. I'm going to add some salt pork right to the center. As it cooks, it's going to release a ton of flavor into our baked beans. I'm also going to stir in that 1 cup of reserved cooking liquid that we had from the beans. Now I'm going to seal this up with some foil, and it's going to go into my preheated 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius oven. And I'm going to let it bake for 3 hours. I am going to make sure to take it out and stir it a few times as it's cooking. This will make sure all the beans get cooked and coated in the sauce evenly. And during the last half hour of cooking, remove the cover and let the sauce thicken and caramelize up in the oven. Now that my baked beans are cooked through and tender, I'm going to remove it from the oven and remove the salt pork to a plate. You can remove any of the excess fat, then dice or shred the pork. Stir this back into the baked beans, and then they're ready to serve. Rather than just opening a can of store-bought baked beans, you can elevate your barbecue side dish game with this recipe that's packed with flavor. This is an old-fashioned side dish everyone will love.
And as always, you can find a link to the full written recipe in the description box below.
Enjoy! If you're a fan of deliciously simple vintage recipes and old-fashioned skills, then you'll want to check out this next video. Thanks for stopping by.